Recording.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is the Evolution Working Group meeting for May 20th, 2020. Wow, 05, 2020, I guess. And I'm just going to put the meeting minutes in the chat. Oh, that is a YouTube link. Apparently, I did not copy and paste super well. Let me try this again. Boom. So those are the meeting minutes. I see Anonymous Ferret is doing some editing.
That would be me.
Okay.
I guess I'm a ferret now.
I mean, it's just Google's random assignment of a thing to you, right?
All right. Sorry.
No problem. I could take notes, Carter, if you weren't able to be at the last meeting because you were
Not doing so hot.
not doing so hot, right?
Yeah,
But
I was sick.
there was a lot of discussion just to bring you up to speed about getting rid of some of the archival pieces of our repository and making it like, let me just bring it up here, CHAOSS WG evolution. I'm just gonna give me 1 second here. GitHub is being a little bit slow for me this morning.
Hello.
How's it going, Armstrong?
Hey, I'm strong.
I'm good, thanks.
I just wanted to show, I'm wanting to show what we wanted to rearrange and then actually issue a pull request to rearrange it while we're sitting here.
Is it issue 356 with the rethinking folders in the evolution repo?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And I'm just taking my own sweet time here for some reason. All right. All right. So essentially, okay. Now I'm going to share a screen. Host attendees sharing disabled. Host disabled attendee screen sharing. Okay, perfect.
I have to make you co-host. I've done this for security reasons.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. Yeah, so people aren't sharing porn or whatever. So the thought was that this is my fork of evolution. The thought was that we would get rid of bin. We would actually get rid of the use cases, bin, and I believe implementations, that they are not widely used or maintained by the current folks in the group, and they are different in very, very fundamental ways than every other working group operates. Did I cover that discussion well?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think the goal is to get the repository more streamlined, essentially, is what it is, less confusing.
So the question I have is, do I delete them and then just, they're in the history of the repo, of course, and if somebody wants to go look at them, they can, or do we create some kind of archive directory? Those are the
I say just delete them because the history is kind of the archive.
Okay.
It might be useful to make a tag or a release in air quotes, just so we can pinpoint exactly when the last time that we had them was, like in GitHub.
I don't fully
Yeah.
understand that. What was that?
So you can tag specific commits in GitHub as being like a
Oh.
release, or just like a
Oh,
specific
yeah.
like Git tag.
I see. Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing in that issue, it looked like, was keeping the meeting notes or getting rid of them. I am in favor of keeping them because people who don't have access, people who don't have access to Google Docs don't have any other way to look at the meeting notes. So for posterity's sake, I think it would.
I think link to the meeting notes is in the README file first on the very first page when people install on the evolution page.
It is, but I'm specifically talking about the. Sorry, that wasn't clear. There's a copy of the meeting notes from the Google Docs that we use that is in a Markdown folder in the repository, and part of the issue was getting rid or deleting that file, and I think we should keep that file, the Markdown file with the archive of the meeting notes.
Are you keeping it up to date?
I didn't do the last meeting, but other than that, yes, I have been keeping it up to date.
Okay, I mean, as long as you're keeping it up to date, I don't have a problem with that. Not every working group is doing that, but if you want to do it, that's no problem.
So I'm just going to do a release right now in master that indicates that it's this is the release before we did the pull request that I'm going to issue now, which is to basically compare across forks, bring the changes that and so reviewers can be arms. What's your handle, Armstrong? I always forget. Is Armstrong here?
Found Gem. The one for GitHub.
Found, yeah, found him. I always forget that.
Yeah.
And Carter. So I don't know if you want to. I don't know. This doesn't fit any labels really, so I won't put any labels on it. But you can go ahead and review that now or review it in the future. But that is basically the fulfillment of what we talked about last time. Under pull request, what is now 359.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, and then looking at our meeting notes, that was the main thing we discussed the last week, Carter, or the last time there was an evolution meeting, and I think we also want to. I think we did a final review of the inactive contributors metric and put that one into continuous release review.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did look at the spreadsheet, but I don't think we made any progress with it. So I'm not sure where should we start today.
I think we can probably just start with picking a metric on that spreadsheet, maybe one that from a section we haven't spent as much time on, or just picking a metric and starting to work through it.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I'm sharing my screen of our evolutionary metrics. We have ones that we're considering. We have active contributors under community review. And we have some, I think these are mostly blank Google Docs. I don't know if there are ones up here like code review iteration that possibly have been started.
I think code review iteration, isn't that?
Yeah, this is the wrong link, I think. Where I hit. This looks like code review comments.
Oh, so the Google Doc must be wrong.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have a code review comments
Reviews, comments.
in the list.
This is reviews, comments. Which is not developed, but there is this link to code review comments under the wrong linked area. So I don't know what we do with that. Sorry, so I think I heard somebody say something.
Not me.
Should we just make a code review comments metric? I guess if we want one, and then we could one for code review iteration, or we could, if that is if we want the code review comments metric.
I mean, I think we do want I think we want both of those metrics, but I don't know, they're in the wrong place, right? The links are wrong, so we could just fix the links.
I think that'd be fine.
So this is code review comments. I'm going to copy that. If I can find my keyboard. Wait a minute. Oh, all right, so this is code review comments. And that's what the file actually is. And then this is the empty one, which I'm just going to move that link up to code review iteration. And now we have an empty one in code review iteration and a populated one correctly in code review comments. And so don't need that. So what comments were posted on a given code review in a repository? Do we have a goal at this level of
No. This
okay.
is the focus area has the goal.
Okay. So hashtag code review comments question.
Yeah, it's probably worth noting what focus area you think this fits in. Is that code review comments? No, that's probably the title of this.
I think the spreadsheet's kind of telling us the focus area, isn't it?
Yeah, activity.
Yeah, code development activity.
Cool.
Does that maps to our focus areas, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, good. We're consistent. Yay us. So I don't know if we want to read through this individually and make suggestions or edits, or if I don't know, how do folks want to proceed in developing this metric?
Oftentimes what works well is just kind of a 15-minute hack session.
Okay, where we're all editing and talking about it, or is it fairly quiet?
It's quiet. It's like 10 or 15 minutes of just
right.
on it, and then kind of coming back and talking through any like
changes.
Yeah, I mean, other than grammar,
All right. All right. Do we want to pause the recording while we do that so that people aren't watching, or do we?
Those who are watching the recording later on,
Oh, I see.
can,
Yeah.
can
Okay.
follow up the
Yeah,
conversation.
I don't mind keeping my screen shared.
Okay.
I'll keep my screen shared like this, and yeah, let's put a 15-minute timer on this, and my first act will be to run and get my coffee and then begin work.
So we are doing the review on the code review comments.
Yeah, so just go through it, Armstrong, and just start making changes.
Okay.
As if you don't understand something, just fix it so that it makes more sense to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Should we do the editing feature on Google Docs or suggesting? Probably just editing.
Kind of. People that do a little bit of both, just because sometimes suggesting gets a little like everybody just accepts all suggestions typically. So
Yeah, that's fair.
step process that doesn't help too much. So how about this? If you have like a huge deletion, maybe do suggestion. But if it's just editing stuff, just do it in editing mode.
Wait, that's not what I wanted.
So I immediately now have a question. Do we mean code reviews, like the code reviews that happen during a pull request, or are we talking about reviews, which is the evolution word for pull request?
I also have that question. To me, I would think, well, it looks like this metric was specifically written for what is called a code review. If you look at the reference at the very bottom, the
Yeah.
reference is to a GitHub code review feature.
Okay. All right.
So maybe that's what it was originally intended for, but we have everything else, almost everything else besides code review efficiency labeled as just review and then reviews and then whatever the thing we're measuring is. So I think it would probably be confusing to have both of those and have them mean two different things, because the difference to me is not immediately apparent.
Yeah. No,
just
that's why.
Just a sec, please. Can we just point this page on somewhere that we could?
You want to put it in the chat, Armstrong?
Yes, please.
Is this the number of comments?
On the quality of the comments.
What?
Carter, can you put a link to this?
Yes.
Go back in the chat.
So like if I have a pull review, I can make a straight up comment on the pull review, or I can look at the files changed and make comments within it, which on GitHub, they're both going to show up as comments on a pull request, whether or not they're formally part of a review, I believe. But it could be different for other platforms. And so I think that's where I think
So what comments is pretty vague as well. That could be a frequency. That could be a who posted these comments. It could be, yeah, that could mean anything.
those could be filters like person, comment count, time period. I mean, those can all be filters that we add. I guess, are we right? I mean, are we code review comments in the way that, I guess reviews is what we're calling pull requests. So a code review is like, I think we need to point out that this is distinct from a review that is operate, it's distinct from a review. I don't know. Like, is it? So are we, I guess my question is, as we edit, are we writing to an ordinary code review as we understand it in software engineering, or are we writing to something else? I'm inclined to write it towards an ordinary code review in software engineering.
I would agree. Because I think yeah, I agree.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do unless somebody objects.
By that, you're saying an actual code review and not a pull request comment.
Correct.
Okay. Perhaps we need to change the name of this then to reflect that distinction. Because as you've said earlier, code review and evolution means pull request.
Review and evolution means pull request.
Yeah. Oh, the code is the distinction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Filter seems to be more focused on the aggregation than on the quality. So it's like in the objective, we have written the knowing comments that are attached to a given review code can give overall feeling or attitude attached towards a given code. Are we focused on that aggregation or the overall feel or inclination or the quality of the code or like review?
Are you talking about objectives or filters?
So in filters, we are having more on the, our focus is on the aggregation side, but in the objective, we are focused on both, on the aggregation and on the quality.
Yeah, I think the filters are, the ones I put in there are ones that are common for, like I'm imagining actually creating this metric, and the first question I'm going to have is what is the scope of time period I want to look at pull request or code review comments for, and then for each pull request, how many reviews are performed, and then how many comments for each of those reviews, and how many total reviews, how many comments for all of the reviews aggregated together, and how many, maybe this is more reviewer count. All that, yeah, because is reviewer count and review count the same thing? Maybe this is reviewer list.
No, it's not. There could be, I could submit multiple reviews on a pull request on a multiple times after it changes, but the reviewer list would only ever be one. So,
Right,
but
so,
I think we should focus in the objective on the quantity, because the code development activity is all about, or to me, the goal is to measure just like the volume of activity. It's like not trying to say so much if it's efficient or how good it is, just trying to capture that in some meaningful way, which is why I proposed to change what in the question to how many, which follows a
Okay.
lot of what the other evolution metrics do, if I remember correctly.
I don't know about implementation. What do we?
Yeah, the text in has this text in implementation been edited yet?
No, and I'm actually in a separate window looking up other metrics and what the implementation sections look like. So under code changes, we have aggregators and parameters and filters, it looks like. Visualization, I mean, but this looks like the old format. That was just changed 4 months ago. So maybe it's not.
The format for the metric? That's the right format.
So like this is just an example. So under implementation, it looks like aggregators, parameters, filters, visualizations, tools, those are all under implementation.
That's correct.
Okay. So
Ah, here we Sean, the aggregators and parameters are just bolded. It's just bolded words with a colon after. They're not part of the template, so we can't use headings for them.
oh, they're just bolded. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that. Are filters the same way?
No, filters are part of the template, so we can use headings, if I remember correctly.
I'm just using language from another metric for a period of time. So
Oops.
they are period of time is, so the star, does that create a bullet?
Yeah, that'll create a bullet when we
Okay,
copy it
okay,
to
all right.
Markdown.
Okay, cool. Filters. Oops. I don't know why Google is doing this to me. I'm trying to do exactly what you did. Maybe I have to trick Google. That's actually also, that's also an aggregator. Call this.
just from a time perspective, we typically end these meetings at about 5 minutes.
Okay. I think we've started the editing. I don't know if we want to review and discuss what we've done so far. Tools providing the metrics is fairly easy to add later.
I think we can discuss what we have done so far, so that if whatever we are carrying forward, keep it up.
Yeah. All right.
Armstrong, you want to start?
Okay, no problem. So so far we have been doing good. I just have a comment on the first line, the how many comments. Like, if we consider that we are considering everything like an aggregation of all the comments, but what happens if we have different categories or classes of comments? For example, one category of comment might be addressing something else, some might be addressing a particular area. Can we keep a track, the same kind of things that we do with word counts in the map reduce context, where we might say, okay, this category of comment is addressing this, we count all the numbers under this, we go to the next category, we count all the comments that are addressing, so we aggregate everything and keep the sub counts. Can we see it that way?
I'm listening to what you're saying. Go ahead.
I think that is in the filters, like review by tags. Like if we have a tagging system in the GitHub, like if you have a tagging in the repo, that you aggregate all by different tags and then go to another tag.
Okay.
There's no other, except for the use of tags, at least on GitHub when I'm doing a code review, I don't have an option to give it a category. I'm just making comments.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Tags are the only way I have to put it in any kind of a category explicitly.
yeah, other option is like we filter it by commenter, like, okay, how many comments are from one particular reviewer, which is also a filter in the itself.
Yeah, I tried to mirror just for people's reference, the structure, the order of things I was using to mirror was the code changes metric. So I tried to put the aggregators, parameters, and filters in a similar order. They're not all the same, but the aggregators and parameters are the same. But the filters, there's a different, like reviewer outcome recommendation is not included. But I think ordinary, the actors, groups of actors are common. Tags applies in this case, and then a distinct filter for this is the outcome recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
And there is an option to do to make comments on, so code review comments, like you don't have to actually call it a code. You can make comments on a change without starting a review, but I think I still would call that a code review, even if the person doing it didn't. They're making some kind of comment on the code. So
I would agree. It could be like asking a clarifying question, which would then lead to approval or denial or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you?
If the
quantify
question
that?
is not actionable, I don't think we should really call that a code review, because code review should be an iterative process, like interchanging of two persons, like the reviewer and the let's say the developer is. So if there is no action that follows that review or the comments,
Yeah, it
I
could
don't think
be.
we should, yeah.
Yeah.
So no action should be a category. So like, I mean, I think these are the three main ones: approve it, no action and make changes.
That makes sense to me.
And we are at our 10-minute mark that Matt pointed out earlier.
I was just going to come on and say that.
Yeah. So I think the tools stuff we can just pick up next time, and the data collection strategies, which are optional. But I think we would just review our work. We put this on the agenda for the next
I can do that.
time, and that concludes this meeting, I think.